How are you? A pretty simple question, one we get asked often as we go through our day. It's a standard part of a social interaction, and we tend to have a customary answer ready to go depending on our culture. But how are you really? Welcome to Mindfulness for Beginners. Hello my friend, hope you're happy, hope you're peaceful. It's your old pal Sean, and thanks to everyone who's supporting the podcast on Patreon. The link is in the description. You get access to exclusive bonus episodes, guided meditations, and a series that I recorded on how to get the best night's sleep using meditation and mindfulness. Please do check out the Facebook group. We now have over 1,000 members and lots of people are joining, which is great. There's a weekly thread each week asking for your ideas, so if you'd like me to do an episode on something important to you, please do let me know. The link is in the description. I've talked before on the podcast about the experience of living as an Irishman in England. As much as Ireland and the other Celtic nations like to define themselves in opposition to England, especially the day I'm recording this when England are in the European Championships final, really, we're cultural cousins. We all like to complain about the weather, we share a love affair with alcohol, and banter is an ingrained part of our social life. For those outside of Britain and Ireland, banter is the process by which you bond to people you care about by insulting their appearance, their shoes, or whatever other opportunity for shenanigans presents itself. I know it doesn't make any sense, but for some reason lost in the mists of time, that's how we show our affection for one another. We can't just say, "Hey man, I love you," apart from when we're drinking heavily, then it's fine or even encouraged. No, we express what someone means to us by taking the piss out of the way they walk or their new car. I know that most of the listeners to the podcast are American, and I know this sounds insane and kind of awful, and in many ways it is, but that's how relationships are done here. But the cultural parallel between Britain and Ireland I find most funny is downplaying how happy you are. I spent a lot of time in America when I was younger, and what I found is that if you ask people how they're doing, they'll oversell their emotional state. They might say, "I'm great," or "I'm doing well," even if they're really not. It's more of a greeting than a genuine response to the question, and most of the time it's answered in a positive way as a default. In Britain and Ireland, the opposite is true. We have this weird thing where we don't like to seem like we're rubbing people's faces in our happiness and success. So when we get asked, "How are you?" we might say, "Well, I'm alright," or "I'm doing okay." The best example of this was when I was walking back from parkrun yesterday along the canal. During the summer, lots of people are travelling along the local waterways in their long barge boats. Some of them are moored to the side, so I say hello and chat to them. I was passing a red and yellow barge where the owner was organising his things. I said hello and asked him how he was doing. He said, "Oh, as well as can be expected." This is the most English answer possible to an inquiry about your mental state. It is peak Britishness, and I had to restrain myself from laughing at what a great answer it was. But the interesting thing is that I do exactly the same. When I get asked how I am, regardless of reality, I always automatically answer, "Not too bad," which feels comfortable to say, but is strange when you think about it. Not too bad. It's a bit bad, but not terribly bad. I remember a few years ago someone questioned me on this response, and I think it might have been someone at Sangha. They asked, "Not too bad? Is that really how you are?" Which is quite a ballsy challenge, but I was up for it, so I stopped and thought about it for a second. How was I really? I was surprised it took a little time to properly check in with how I was actually feeling. So after a bit of pondering, I said, "Actually, I'm great. I'm feeling really good today," which is a very different answer to "not too bad," but somehow feels slightly uncomfortable to say. It's really important in the practice of mindfulness to be aware of the state of your mind and feelings, to check in with ourselves and our internal weather, even in times where things aren't going so well. We can check in on our emotional landscape by setting a regular chime on our phone, stopping what you're doing and just noticing what you're feeling. In Plum Village, Sangha evenings, we have a part of the session where we go around the circle and do what's called a weather report. We do it in a Facebook group as well. The weather is a useful metaphor for capturing how you're feeling, whether it's sunny or rainy or stormy or muggy. And sometimes when we're going through difficult or stressful times, we can run away from being in touch with our feelings. We can try and distract ourselves by keeping busy or consuming, and I've been certainly doing some of that recently. But it's important to train ourselves to be aware of our difficult feelings so that we can learn to accept them, sit comfortably with them, even learn to smile to them. I've done several episodes on processing anxiety, anger, and sadness, so I won't repeat them here. You can take a look back. But the other reason to check in with our emotional state is that a lot of the time we're quite happy and content, but we're not really aware of it. Sometimes we're only aware of our happiness once we feel like we've had it taken away from us by events. It's important to practice what Thich Nhat Hanh called non-toothache. That feeling of joy from not having anything difficult to deal with, simply being alive, from sitting, breathing in and out, brushing your teeth, petting the cat. When we check in and say to ourselves, I am alive, we open up a world of possibilities. Every experience we have is an opportunity for us to bring our awareness to the present moment and fully enjoy it, even in the face of difficulties. As the Buddha said, happiness is possible. So then, that begs the question, how are you? How are you really? Close your eyes for a moment and take a big, deep breath in. And then release. And I want you to take a moment or two and scan your inner landscape and use the metaphor of the weather to describe what you're feeling. And I'll just give you a short pause for you to do that scanning. And how I'm feeling today is definitely calm, sunny. There are a few clouds about. I'm feeling a bit tired today, so I would generally say a bit muggy whenever I'm feeling that way. But I think I'm feeling good today. And the next time someone asks, how are you? I would invite you to use it as a bell of mindfulness, a way of returning to the present moment and getting in touch with yourself. And if it's someone you trust asking you the question, why not try telling them how you really are? You don't have to pretend you're great if you're struggling, and if you're English or Irish, you don't have to pretend that things are grim if you're feeling happy. So give it a try. But for now, let's sit together for a few minutes with a guided meditation on the mind where we accept our different emotions, the difficult ones and the joyful ones. We're going to start with 3 sounds of the bell and the usual settling in introduction. And we're going to start, as we always do, by applying our beginner's mind to our posture. So I would invite you to imagine that you have a thread attached to the crown of your head, and it's gently pulling you upwards into an upright position, your spine like a stack of coins, your heart raised upwards and outwards, your hands comfortably in your lap, and just allowing a gentle smile to emerge in your face as we take a moment to enjoy the stability of our posture. And next, we're going to apply our beginner's mind to our bodies, really enjoying the aliveness, noticing where you feel warm or cold, noticing where you feel tense or relaxed. Becoming aware of the sensation of the clothes against your skin, and the points of contact between your body and the chair and the floor. And next, we're going to bring our beginner's mind to our thoughts and feelings. And as we go through the guided meditation, just noticing each thought as it arises, and that might be an anxious thought about tomorrow. It could be a happy thought about today, or a regretful thought about yesterday. Just sitting with each thought for a moment, allowing it to leave, and gently and without judgment, bringing your attention back to your breath. And finally, focusing our beginner's mind on the breath. Noticing that column of air between your nose and your diaphragm. Noticing how your shoulders rise as you breathe in. How your stomach falls as you breathe out. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. In, out. Breathing in, my breath grows deep. Breathing out, my breath goes slow. Deep, slow. Breathing in, I am aware of the state of my mind. Breathing out, I smile to the state of my mind. Aware of mind, smiling. Breathing in, I am aware of the feeling of anxiety in me. Breathing out, I smile to the feeling of anxiety in me. Aware of anxiety, smiling. Breathing in, I am aware of the feeling of sadness in me. Breathing out, I smile to the feeling of sadness in me. Aware of sadness, smiling. Breathing in, I am aware of the feeling of anger in me. Breathing out, I smile to the feeling of anger in me. Aware of anger, smiling. Breathing in, I am aware of the feeling of joy in me. Breathing out, I smile to the feeling of joy in me. Aware of joy, smiling. Breathing in, I experience the joy of freedom in me. Breathing out, I smile to the joy of freedom in me. Joy of freedom, smiling. Breathing in, I experience the joy of being alive. Breathing out, I smile to the joy of being alive. Joy of being alive, smiling. And as we reach the end of the guided meditation, just noticing any changes in your body, any areas of relaxation, any areas of tension or discomfort. And you might choose to stretch those areas, as I am now. Noticing any changes in your mind. And if you feel a sense of calm or peace, then I would invite you to carry that through the rest of your day. And finally, opening your eyes and returning your awareness to the room that you're in. And your mindfulness homework for this week is to set an alarm on your phone, a chime on your phone for every hour, just to check in with your internal weather and use that metaphor of the weather just to capture how you're feeling at the moment. And also just to check in with yourself whenever someone asks you how you are, just really understanding how you are rather than giving a generic answer. And if it's a person that you trust, then you might choose to share how you're feeling in that moment. And may you be happy, may you be peaceful, and may you see yourself through the eyes of understanding and compassion. Slán Bhaile, and I'll see you next time.
Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I've